Good morning. And I was told I forgot to say that yesterday. Anyway, today's topic for me is a very heavy one. It's one that surprises me that I'm having to do, but I have to do it because it links to a whole bunch of other videos that I've done, as you will understand as I proceed. The title is RuSA'S Leadership Recommends Disbanding. Those that have been listening, watching my videos over the past 22 months, have heard me talk about RUSA, the Republic for the United States of America. You've heard me defend Tim Turner. You've also heard me express serious concerns about the theocratic direction RUSA's leadership seemed to be taking. Normally I have been on the Monday night calls, but not this week. Yesterday morning, as I mentioned in that video, I learned that the call was about the breakup of RUSA. Last night I received a copy of that call and listened. This morning I will share my thoughts and opinions. And bear in mind, they are my thoughts and my opinions. I'm not in the business of telling people what to think or what to do. Well, at least I try not to be. Tim Turner was arrested in September for IRS charges with the IRS and offsetting debt with bonds as taught in his UCC 1 classes and his other classes teaching people lawful remedies for dealing with a corrupt government. And I met Tim Turner last year, at the end of the year, here in Florida when he visited. And I felt that the man was a man of integrity. I've also had some interaction with him, mostly since that period of time. And I do believe he's well intended. I don't believe he ever set out to defraud anyone or to do anything that was unlawful. I do believe he's a man of peace, and I believe that of most of the people in RUSA, although of course I haven't met most of the people in RUSA. But I do believe that the movement has been a peaceful movement and one that has attempted in most instances to be lawful. I do believe Tim Turner and others in the inner circle of leadership have been misguided in their attempt to make RUSA into a Christian nation or a Christian republic, which to me is an absolute oxymoron. I mean, it's crazy because it violates, immediately there's a violation of the First Amendment to the Constitution. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of religion nor prohibiting the free exercise thereof. What is there to figure out there? When you name the Holy Bible as your law form, and the Holy Bible is a particular holy book of a particular religion, exclusive of all others, how is that not favoring the establishment of a particular religion? It's as obvious to me as it can possibly be. And yet there are people in RUSA that were defending that position, defending it completely. And I've several times, last year I wanted to quit because of all the things that were going on with the newly elected ambassador and some of the inner circle of her friends and people that were trying to take RUSA, I felt, in a completely different direction, separate from national, and they were saying that RUSA was a top-down organization, and they were resenting and resisting that. And I sided with the organization. And I listened to our wonderful governor here in Florida and his wife and others who convinced me not to quit because of I didn't know I was getting myself into a fight and a hassle. And more recently, I've wanted to quit since they came out with the ASR and then the citizenship of record documents, again, taking a theocracy stance rather than a republic stance and behaving unconstitutionally. I've wanted to quit. There are many people right here in Florida that are also on the fence, wanting to leave, but waiting to see what's going to happen. Well, apparently it's happened. Nathan Peachy, our Supreme Court Justice in National, the Chief Justice, resigned not only as the Supreme Court Justice, but resigned from RUSA itself and recommended that everyone in RUSA disband, that everyone should resign, and that Tim Turner, according to what was said on the call Monday night, which I listened to last night, Tim Turner wants to protect the people and doesn't want to see the membership of RUSA get in trouble, as he did. I do believe that the charges against him will ultimately prove to be false, because I am still of the strong conviction that everything that our federal government does is unlawful and treasonous. Everything. It's a corporation, but it's been doing unlawful and treasonous things at least since 1871. I'm absolutely convinced that that's the truth. And while I believe that the leadership in RUSA was misguided in regard to its religious aspect and not understanding that you can't mix religion with government in the respect that you're favoring one religion over another, because then there's no freedom of religion. You undermine the whole principles of a republic. And I do believe a republic is the most perfect form of government ever devised by man in human history. I don't believe there can be a better form of government that limits the government and protects the rights of the people. But RUSA wasn't doing that. And so, on the one hand, I'm really not surprised to see its collapse, and somewhat relieved to see its collapse. I would not want to live in an Islamic republic or a Christian republic, or any republic that is based on a narrow fundamentalist viewpoint based on some holy book somewhere. I like what Obama said in his speech yesterday, honoring some religion. It was only a 2-minute speech or something like that, but he honored various world religions, and that's where I come from. I honor God in everyone. That's what namaste means to me. It means I recognize the divine in you, and I honor that. I honor that. So on the one hand, the breakup of RUSA surprised me, but it was a relief to see it happening, because to me they were going in a wrong direction. On the other hand, I'm very, very saddened, because I know that the people are not bad people. I know Tim Turner. I believe with all my heart that Tim Turner is not some charlatan as he's been falsely accused and painted. I know that. I believe that with all my heart. And I believe that of the others, even though I don't like the direction they were going. I don't believe they were ill-intended. I don't believe they were trying to do something that would hurt people. I do think that they were motivated by fear, because fundamentalist religion is all of them, fundamentalist religions are always fear-based. That's part of the matrix. That's part of the culture of human society. That's a part of the culture that we have to get beyond. We have to become love-based, which is the spiritual foundation of all religions. But it's a foundation that virtually all of the religions have moved away from, because they've operated more in fear than in love. And maybe this is part of the wake-up. Now, I will say, as I commented to someone in a phone conversation yesterday, for the past while, I've made it a point to pray for our leaders. Not necessarily every day, but regularly. I did that with George Bush, and I've been doing that with Obama. I haven't liked either George Bush. I especially didn't like George Bush, and I haven't trusted Obama from the beginning. There were too many signs that he was not good, but not working on the side of the light, not working on the side of honesty and truthfulness and love. But as I've prayed for him, even going into the election, even before the election occurred, or the selection, I was getting different feelings about him. Yes, I've paid attention to those that say he's a starseed and that he's on a special assignment to turn everything around, not only in the United States, but in the world. And so, as I've prayed for him, I've had a different feeling. There's been something like trying to say, Ron, look at this closer. It's not what it appears. You're still judging by appearances, Ron. Look deeper. There's something there that you're not seeing. And I've had a better feeling about Obama over the past at least a couple of weeks. More so since the election, but I recognize that it was there even before the election. Now, one of the warnings or threats is that the people in RUSA are going to get arrested like Tim Turner was. Well, we'll see what kind of man Obama really is. Which side is he really on? Is he on the side of truth? Is he on the side of love? He says some nice words. But we've learned, those of us that pay attention, that when politicians use nice words, they're usually lying. It's usually a smokescreen, a deception. We know that Obama has signed lots of bills that give him virtually dictatorial powers. He's signed more executive orders than all previous presidents combined, and his first term isn't even over yet. Is he making himself a dictator? Or is he taking responsibility for actually cleaning house? We'll see in the days and weeks ahead. We'll see. I don't know what the Republic of Florida is going to do. We will be having discussions about this in the days ahead. And we will be making a determination how we're going to handle it. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not part of National because National took a wrong turn. I am part of the Republic of Florida because I live in Florida. I've lived here since 1983, and I was born an American. I was born a citizen of the Republic, even when I didn't even know what the Republic was. That's my natural birthright, and it's the birthright of every other person born in this country. It doesn't need to be proven. It just is. It just is. And that's one of the things that resented about national, trying to make you prove that you were who you are. That shouldn't have to ever be proven to anybody. We are what we are, and we don't need paperwork to prove it. Certainly not paperwork that was created by a criminal government. Birth certificates are not necessary. They are ownership papers selling us into slavery. And we do that to our children. But most people don't know that. We're doing it ignorantly. We're not doing it because we want to hurt somebody. We're doing it because we've been defrauded, because we've been misled, because we don't remember who we are. And we haven't been taught by our religions and by our media and by our educational institutions, certainly not by our government, certainly not by the corporations. You've heard me talk about these things. We must move to a republic form of government as the bridge to perhaps no government necessary. I don't know if that will ever be the case. As long as Earth is a habitation of people to work out their karma and to forget who they are and then remember again so that they can become more and expand and increase in love and increase in compassion. As long as that's going to happen, we're probably going to need some form of government, because I don't see it any other way, but I don't see everything. I don't see everything. Anyway, I'm really saddened overall to see our leaders in RUSA calling for a disbanding of the whole thing, of the whole game. But ultimately the republic, I think, will rise in the United States, and republics will arise around the world. It is the consciousness of our time. I don't believe the de facto governments and the corporate governments will ultimately be able to hang on to their illusion of control. I don't believe they will be able to do that, but I don't know how it's going to play out. It will certainly be interesting to see how Obama plays his cards and how others around the world play theirs, and how we, the people, play ours. Thank you for listening to me share my thoughts and my opinions. Namaste.